Yo, it's your boy Durante. Look, I'm gonna teach y'all how to budget. I wanted to do this because, like I said, well, before I go any further, again, this is gonna be for educational purposes only, for legality reasons. But I've been, like I said, I've been working at a bank now, and I want to go back and basically help a lot of people out because there's a lot of things that a lot of people do not know, whether you're young, old. This is just one of them. So I want to go through and teach people how to actually budget. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to see people win. I want to see y'all living it up too. And it's the least I can do. This is just a way of giving back. So, and this is extremely important because understanding like where you are financially and understanding like what you're spending, how much you're spending, and where it's going to, it's extremely crucial. So, like I said, I'm gonna go through and teach y'all exactly how to budget. So I'm gonna do it in 5 steps. I'm gonna do this in 5 steps, right? So the first step in learning how to budget is number 1 is seeing where you are at today. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is seeing how much money you bring in and how much money is going out. And the simplest way to do it, you can start looking at it, example, like the current month you're in. So the way I would like for you to start, or how I recommend you start, is because we're going to go look at your revenue minus expenses. Revenue is basically how much money you're bringing in with all the kind of income. I'm breaking this down so that everyone can get this no matter where you're at. But yeah, we're going to look at how much money you bring in versus how much money is going out. So looking at the revenue side of it, I would look at where you're at right now. Depending on where you're at right now, I don't know when you would be seeing this video, if you're seeing this to actual today or whenever it is uploaded or years down the line, I don't know. Just look at how much money you've brought in this month. That's the first thing I would do. Look at exactly how much money you have brought in total for the month you are in currently. That we're gonna I like keeping things simple and easy, not only for myself, but just in general. So look at exactly how much money you have brought in. That could come from a job. It could come from a side hustle. It could come from a business. It could come from investments. It could come from whatever. Whatever brought you money, whatever put money into your pocket for you to spend, count it. So we're looking at every single penny. So what I recommend for you to go through is look at this right now. Because most people don't even notice. Most people do not notice, which is absolutely insane. But we're going to fix it one step at a time. So look at every single penny that comes into your, like for you, whether you put it into your bank account, whether you get it in cash, it doesn't matter. You track every single penny as revenue right now. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Track every single penny. Now, after you've tracked every single penny, you know how much money is coming into your bank account or whatever in cash, whatever, you know how much money you've made through the month. And that means also, like, example, if you get paid, I also gotta say this back to the revenue part. If you get paid once per month, add that in. If you get paid 2 times per month, add both of them in. If you get paid 4 times a month, add them in. If you get paid 4 times a month and you also do a side hustle and you get some other type of investments, add it all up and for that month. We're just doing it for the month right now to keep it simple. So after you have all of your income, basically how much money you've made, every single penny, now that you've tracked every single penny, now we're going to look at how much money is going out of the bank account. So now we're going to look at how much money is going out of it. Now this is big too as well, because this is where it really gets where a lot of people should be more like should have had somebody teach them about it. Because what I'm teaching you right here is looking at your net profit. Now, there's a big difference between net profit and gross profit. Gross profit is just how much money, basically just how much money you made. So like if I went and worked 2 weeks for work and I get paid bi-weekly, my check is going to basically show my gross profit, basically, essentially. Or if you're a business owner, your gross profit would be how much you made after all your production, basically. That's how much money you made, got paid out. Now, that's your gross profit. The net profit is really the thing that actually counts, which I highly recommend looking at mostly, is how much money you make after all of your expenses. So that's what we're going to get. So Now we're going to look at every single penny that's going out of your account. And the way to do this is just start looking at the simple way to do it. You can just start looking at the things that come out first that are more importantly, which would likely be your bills. Look at all your bills, whether it be electricity bill, your rent, mortgage, whatever. You look at all your bills, track them all from there, especially even if you have kids. Look at all your expenses for the children, like maybe childcare, daycare, whichever that may be. Look at every single penny that is going out. So you'll start with likely looking at the things that come out that are most important, which is your bills. And then next you will look at the things that also come out as well on top of that. So after you get all your bills, you know what bills are coming out for the month or the same month. We're looking at the same month as we're doing the income. So you know, let's say now you have it tracked down with every single bill that's coming out. You know exactly how much is coming out. I highly recommend also knowing when they come out too. That's just in general, that's general knowledge. I highly recommend you know exactly when they come out during that times of month. But let's say you're tracking your expenses, you're tracking every single penny that's coming out, and now you've tracked all your bills. You know how much is coming out, and preferably I would highly recommend you know when. Let's say you know when they come out now. And now I want you to add in also the other expenses that come out too, which are things that just necessarily aren't tracked. So let's say something like you go out to get something to eat, and also make sure you add in like, you know, vehicle gas if you gotta pay for that. Make sure you definitely add in that. Any kind of thing, like maybe you may have had to get, you know, or maybe you go get some food. Maybe you had to pay like a random expense for maintenance on your car. Maybe you just recently did something, you paid for something different, you got some clothes, whatever that may be, a coffee. You track every single expense, every single one. And once you have roughly how much you've spent, or preferably exactly, you want to know exactly how much you spent. You really want to know where every single penny is going. But let's say like now you have every single one of your expenses tracked. This is going to be big because if you've never done this before, number one, this is going to point out a lot of things for you. It's going to point out exactly what's going on. So once you have every single expense written down, now what you'll do is you'll subtract this expense minus how much you made, minus your income, minus the revenue, what we were talking about at first, which will give you your net profit. And what I'll do is I'll write it down just to make it look more visual. Yeah, I'm doing this right off the whim. I got a sticky note. I got a pen that I haven't even used yet. I'm literally, y'all can probably see, I'm literally like in a store parking lot, just doing this right off the whim because I want to help out a lot of people. And basically what I'm going to write down, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to say, just to give something kind of visual for you all to look at really quickly. Let me get this. Come. Okay, so I'm about to write something else over here too, but I at least just want to show you this so far, what I got. I'm about to put minus everything that's coming out. So first we're looking at income, which is all the money you've made within the month, and then minus expenses. So I'm gonna just say like every single penny coming out. So, and like I said, I put the rest of it on here, which is minus every penny spent. Now, my pen is acting kind of crazy, so don't fry me too much. But, yeah, we're going to look at income minus expenses, which I'm going to put at the bottom of this. My pen is acting crazy. It's supposed to be brand new. And my pen acting wild. Maybe it's me. But yeah, after you get your income listed, minus every penny that's going out. Let me rephrase that. Once you have every penny that's coming in, subtract it minus every penny that's going out, we're going to get this number right here, which is your net profit, which is how much money you really are. How I look at it is that's how much money I really would make. Like, I don't really count necessarily the gross profit. And the reason why I say this is because I'm also going to write out something as well here for you. I'm going to write it right here. Let's say you have person A. We're just going to look at it like this. Let's say you have person A who makes, let's say he makes $200,000 a year. But let's say he spends, we're gonna say 150,000 or something like that. And all right, I'm crappy with this pen. I might get another one. All right, so let's say you have person A who makes $200,000 a year, right? And he spends $150,000 a year on just, like, we're gonna say expenses. So overall, his net profit would be $50,000, right? I'm just keeping it real simple, real easy, simple math, right? And let me get another pen. And now let's say person B. I'm gonna put A, right? I'm gonna delete A, and I'm gonna say person B this time. And let's say person B makes, I don't know, I'm just do simple numbers, $100,000 a year. Now, granted, I know the average salary in America is something like, as of right now, it's like 65,000, something like that. But I'm just using this for educational purposes. We can break different numbers. I'm using 100 and 200 to make it simple. And let's say person B, out of making 100,000, let's say he only spends 40,000. Okay, so let's compare. This is just to make it really easy and simple to, like, kind of understand. So we got person A who makes $200,000 a year, but they spend $150,000 a year, and at the end of the day, their net profit is $50,000. Versus person B, who makes $100,000 a year, and they only spend $40,000 a year on all of their expenses amongst every single one of them, and they end with $60,000 left net profit. From this simple math, I mean, you could basically ask, really, like, who is really doing better in a way? Like, what would you say is, like, who is the one that is actually doing better? Me, I would argue person B, because they're profiting more money. Now, of course, this is 100,000 and 200,000. It could be looked at the same if somebody made 50,000 versus somebody who made 20,000. It doesn't matter. To me, I always count the net profit more. I mean, that's just me. That's a preference. You could do something different. If you care more about the gross profit, just how much money you're bringing in versus, how much you spent, that's on you. That's your preference. I'm not here to stop nobody from necessarily doing what they're doing or what they care more about. But this is extremely important to know, because what you'll now be able to be aware of is that there's a lot of people out here who will make 6 figures easy, right? Hold up, there's a small setback for a major comeback. As you can see, the lighting probably changed. I had flipped the turn the car around because my phone was starting to overheat, so it paused the recording. But I'm gonna still pick up. So yeah, this is extremely important to understand between person A and person B. And the reason why is, like I was mentioning, because there's a lot of people who make 6 figures or millions of dollars, which, again, I will also say I've seen plenty of people blow through money. I've even heard plenty of things where people, and I'm sure you all seen it, people can have millions of dollars and absolutely blow through it, right? Now, this is extremely important because you'll have people who are making 6 figures or millions, right? I'll just use this random example. This is just an example. You could have somebody who's making $200,000 a year, but then they got a mortgage, which is just a loan that you took out for your house. They have a mortgage that's worth, what? I'll just say $500,000 a year. Then expenses doesn't even include your vehicle, which they could have a nice vehicle that could be taking out a lot of money too. Then it also doesn't include whatever other expenses they may have, like maybe they were already in debt from something else. Could be student loans or personal, I don't know. They could have already been debt from something else. This doesn't even include if they have like a significant other, like who maybe they are also part of the expenses as well. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but just saying like somebody else they have to take care of. That also doesn't even include children, right? So, yeah, they could be making $200,000 a year and looking good and all this stuff because they in this nice position and all that stuff from the outside. But in reality, it's like a sinking ship in a way, right? Versus somebody who may not be making as much money as fast, like somebody who's making maybe like $30,000 a year, but they don't have any debt over their head at all, and they keep up with their expenses. Everything is in check. They know what's coming in and out, and shoot, only thing they really spending, they're not even spending probably half of the money that they bring in, right? Like, so this is extremely important to be aware of and to know, and why I say like I prefer, like me at least, looking at the net profit, not necessarily the gross, like how much you've made in the day, but really how much you've made after all of your expenses. So, even just off this first step, there was only the first one, the first step out of 5. The rest of them will go really quickly, but just off of this first step of being able to be aware of where you're at right here, right now, you're already ahead of most people. Just from this, you are already ahead of most people. If y'all ever have any questions about it, just let me know. Leave a comment, let me know. I'll try to get back to it as soon as I can on it. All right, so I'm gonna try to go ahead and get through this, make it quick, easy, and simple for everybody. So step 2 of 5 of how to budget. This one is just tracking everything, which kind of stems off of number 1, but track everything. What do I mean by that? I mean, check your accounts or check your cash, whatever, check it daily. Me, I check my accounts every day when I wake up and every day when I go to sleep. Now, I also might check them during the day, but I highly recommend from here on out, as I know a lot of people who will have someone else do it for them, like a significant other, which, I mean, it's fine. It's whatever your preference, but I highly recommend that you yourself check your accounts daily. Every single day. Every single day. Track everything. And also track everything that comes into your accounts and everything that comes out. Every single penny coming in, you should know exactly what's coming in, and every single penny that's coming out, you should know every single penny that's going in and out of your money every single day, all the time. Now, of course, nobody's perfect with it, so it might slip, but if you're really keeping track of this every day, I mean, you may not see it in the middle of the day, but if you really check it before you go to sleep, you'll notice it then, right? So, yeah, I highly recommend doing this because this will help you in so many different areas, especially even with fraud. Because I tell you, I sit with so many people per day who've gotten hit with fraud, like basically like money got taken out of their account they didn't even realize, maybe not even realize like until a year later. Track everything. So that's the second part, second step out of 5. Track everything. The third step out of 5 in terms of how to budget is basically setting a budget. So one rule of thumb, I guess you could say, is like a 10-10-80 rule, which, I mean, you can verify or you can tweak it to however you want to do. There is no set thing for it, but basically a 10-10-80 rule is just saying like 10% of your money that you make, or it's however you want to do it. You can do it out of your gross or your net, but I prefer the net. So 10% out of everything, like what you make, I could say go to like yourself. 10% goes to yourself. In terms of like investing in yourself or putting into savings, any type of investment, which is basically just investment. All it means is putting your money into something with the hopes of getting more money out of it later. So like put that 10% into yourself somewhere. Put another 10% maybe into giving. Maybe somebody close to you, family relative, maybe needs help with something, or maybe you want to give to someone, or maybe in your church or something. I don't know. It's however you want to do it. I mean, 10% to giving. If you don't, that's you personally. But this is just saying. So 10% goes to yourself, 10% goes to giving, and then 80% goes to just the rest of your expenses or living. So, yep, it's literally just the 10, 10, 80. Yep, literally is what it is. 10, 10, 80. Tweak it however you want to do, whatever works. But a good thing, what it is it kind of lets you know where you're at. So kind of, basically what I'm saying is let's say if you go by this and you're kind of not within that 80, like your expenses go more than that, well, it just lets you know where you are. And this is the whole point of this, is to take steps to get it right, basically. So it's not a thing to make you look bad or anything. No, it's just, this is steps to make the future brighter. So that is the third thing. The fourth step out of 5 is to reevaluate. So the fourth step out of being able to learn how to budget, or me teach you, showing you how to budget, is to reevaluate. What I mean by that is just check how everything is going in like a month from now. Or even checking it in a month from now, and then check it again in like 3 months, and like 6 months, and a year. Just check up on it to see how things are going. And the reason why I say this is because things may change. Maybe you start doing this and things start going freaking amazing for you, and now you just want to tweak how your budget goes. Maybe you had less of a budget when you first started, but now you got more of a budget to do certain things that just set you up in the future. So reevaluate, change it, tweak it, make it yours. Make it something that you are comfortable with. That's the whole point of this. It's just basically being aware and doing stuff, actions that are more intentional, and just being comfortable with it. So yeah, make it yours. And the last thing, the fifth step in learning how to budget, is to not stop. Don't stop. You can't ever go wrong with learning more. You can't ever go wrong with investing in yourself some kind of way. And just don't stop. You got this. You all got this. Again, if y'all need me to explain something else, just let me know. But I'm here to see everybody win. We finna turn up, because there's a lot of people who do not know these 5 steps. And it's absolutely crucial. If you haven't seen my other 2 videos over how to start making money, and over, dang, I can't even remember the other one, but it was over how to start making money, another one. But if you haven't seen them, I definitely highly recommend checking them out. Basically, all I'm doing is I'm just teaching people the game, step by step by step. I'm trying to break it down. So, yep, I hope you all enjoyed. Hope y'all learned something from it. Again, this is for educational purposes, for legality reasons. And I got your back. Y'all reach out to me. I'm here for you. Peace.